One who can retain the money he earns is wiser than one who only earns it. Jewish proverb. Making money like the Jews can be done if you know the secret, and it is here in EcoNews where we will tell you all about the secret of the Jews so you can obtain success, wealth, and prosper in life. Before starting the video, I invite you to give us a like. Do not worry, for now are free. By the way, if you like this type of content, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss more content like this. Now, let's start the video. Half of the world's 10 richest male billionaires on the Forbes list are Jewish. Do you think this is a coincidence? Of course it is not. Jews have a philosophy of life that guides them to wealth, a philosophy of life that is very different from that of many people who, instead of wanting to generate wealth, fear it and run away from it thinking that this is a good thing. Until they make ends meet. Of course, that's why what we are talking about today is the Jewish secret to wealth, and you would like to know how Jews do to improve their finances and live a more peaceful life. In this video you will learn the Jewish methodology to generate money and wealth, and you will be able to apply it from the moment you finish watching this video. It is estimated that there are about 14 million Jews in the world, of which 7 million are scattered throughout the rest of the planet due to the migration of this ethnicity initially in Europe, and from there to North America and the rest of the world. What is striking is how Jews, being a minority, have not only stood out as successful businessmen, but also as brilliant scientists, artists, philosophers, economists, politicians, writers, among other branches of knowledge, without counting, obviously, the most influential Jew of all history, and of whom we continue to speak to this day. The internet abounds with absurd theories about the prosperity of the Jews. Some attribute it to certain rituals, others to usury, that is, to lending money at high interest rates, qualifying the Jewish people as greedy and avaricious, which is nonsense and far from reality. And it is in this video you are going to know why the real reason for Jewish success lies simply in the deep connection of their theological doctrine and how they apply it in all areas of life, including, of course, doing business. The number one secret has to do with work, savings, and investment. For Jews, it is not enough just to receive an inheritance. One must know how to maintain it and make it grow. For this purpose, it is very important that there is a transfer of knowledge from parents to children and among the same community. From an early age, they are accustomed to study their two sacred books, which are the Torah and the Talmud. In these two millenary books there is already advice on finance and investment. For example, there is the Jewish rule of the 3/3, which explains that a person should treat his money in three: 1/3 in land, 1/3 in business, and 1/3 in hand, liquidity to do more business or to have in case of any emergency. This is an example of diversification, looking for long-term security and not wasting money on things that give you momentary happiness to end up losing it all. Jews have it very clear: sell your life, everything that is temporary and loses value, and invest in things that give you money in the long term. As we can see, for the Jews it is very common to talk about money, since they have incorporated it in their religion and in their daily life for millennia. Another part of the secret of Jewish wealth is that you must always have your own business for Judaism. It is desirable to be wealthy, since it is a means that helps to improve one's ability to serve God as long as it helps others and has been earned cleanly within Judaism. There is no impediment to prosper among their community and family. They support each other, and it is vital for them to have their own business and not think about working for someone else. Tell us in the comments. Did you have any idea what the Jewish secret to wealth was? If not, what is your method of saving? Would you change it? Leave us your answer in comments, and don't forget to give us a like. Jews understand that one should always seek to be the owner of a business and not an employee. In fact, one of the principles taught in the Old Testament was to remain united as a nation and as a race, avoiding dependence on the people where they came from. This would lead to the Jews learning to start their own businesses instead of being employed by someone else. As indeed happened with this people in the times of Nazi Germany, and that constituted one of the reasons for their persecution and extermination by this regime. Undoubtedly, that the Holocaust has marked the Jews very much, that if they already had cultural and philosophical roots characterized in the struggle and resilience, the Third Reich, far from exterminating them, as was its purpose, it made them stronger. Another part of the secret of the Jews is that they are aware of the importance of reinvestment in their own business. They are aware that the business is going to provide wealth in the long term. That is why they reinvest every last dollar. Contrary to what is believed for the Jew, the most important thing is not to accumulate wealth, but to create businesses and reinvest so that these new investments generate a good quality of life. Jews are not greedy. On the contrary, they see money as a means and not as an end, and something very important is that they are not afraid of it. Contrary to the Christian doctrine that has been spread in the West that money is bad, that poverty must be glorified, and that we must create a culture of poverty, that being poor is good, that being poor is synonymous with honesty and being rich is synonymous with being dishonest. For Jews, these attitudes are inadmissible. You will never see a Jew envying his neighbor or slandering someone who created a business and succeeded. On the contrary, you will always see them looking for opportunities to grow their wealth, meeting the needs of others as their scriptures say. The Jews lived through the diaspora, which means the dispersion of the Jewish people all over the world, and they have capitalized on this unpleasant fact by using it to their advantage. This dispersion has caused the Jews to have friends and relatives all over the world, and it is clear that the better contacts you have, the easier it is to make money, business, and good investments. Let's say that Jews have been applying the concept of networking for millennia. They support each other, and if someone from the community starts a business, they all join together to help it prosper. If you are liking the video, don't hesitate to give us a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more content like this. For Jewish millionaires, it is very important to have a good reputation within their community, to always have the doors open to new business and opportunities, and good treatment of employees is vital for the company to function properly. When you build a reputation of fairness with your employees, they're going to respect you a lot, and they're going to be loyal to your company and your ideas. And the Jews take this so seriously to such an extent that for the Jewish religion, paying a salary late can mean a sin comparable to murder in much of their history. Being always persecuted, they accumulated knowledge because knowledge is something that no one can take away from you, and for example, 25% of Nobel Prize winners are Jewish. They pass the knowledge from parents to children to make their fortune not only maintain, but grow over time. Therefore, for the Jewish community, the knowledge, the wisdom of money, and how to multiply it is very important, because they can never take it away from you. And if you know how to generate money, even if one day they take it all away from you, with time you will be able to recover it and have the same or more fortune than before. Money does not grow on trees. Jewish proverb. Hence the saying that goes, take all their fortune from the rich people and distribute them among the poor. You will see how in a matter of time the rich become rich again and the poor become poor again. This is an indisputable fact and has already been proven, because the poor have no money culture, much less financial education. The poor tend to spend on useless things or things that lose value over time, while the rich spend their money carefully and invest it in assets that generate more and more money. In fact, there are many people born in extreme poverty who end up getting ahead and in many cases even becoming millionaires, and that is a matter of mentality. Those people, even if they were born in poverty, have the mentality of millionaires, and it is not necessary that they are Jews for that. It is all a matter of mentality. While there are other people who, even being middle class, can end up in poverty because they have the mentality of poor people, because all they know how to do is complain, blame others, blame the government, blame the circumstances, and they even go as far as blaming the rich, as if the rich were to blame for all their poverty. And the reality is that even more so today in the 21st century, mentality is everything. Today, we are in an era where the knowledge economy is booming and opportunities are becoming more accessible and equal for all. Without going any further, there are people who use their cell phones to start businesses, while there are others who only use them to look at social networks and waste time. Another fundamental pillar of the Jewish secret to riches is that they live below their financial means. It is very difficult to see a Jew, no matter how prosperous he may be, wasting money on luxuries and useless things. For them, it is better to have economic power than to appear rich to others. As you can see, this is totally the opposite of what the poor do, living beyond their means and completely indebted to pay for useless things that do not generate any value, such as expensive clothes, high-end cell phones, and all kinds of useless and inconsequential things you can imagine. The Jewish culture has a clear position against debts because they are aware of the slavery that these generate. In the Torah, it clearly says, "The Lord will open for you in his good treasure in the heavens to give rain to your land at the proper time and to bless all the work of your hand, and you will lend to many nations, but you will not borrow." It is very clear what the scriptures say. You shall not take debt, and in another part of the book of Proverbs it says the debtor is slave of the creditor. This is why you can hardly find a Jew awash in debt, because they know it is harmful and they don't need it. Israeli businessman and politician Ed Margali said, "An immigrant is a penniless person in search of opportunity, while a nation of immigrants is a nation of entrepreneurs." This is absolutely true. In fact, with a little over 7 million inhabitants, Israel alone has more companies listed on the Nasdaq than all of Europe. This is the Jewish secret to wealth, and we could spend many hours extending and talking about this Jewish philosophy of life that leads to prosperity. A secret and a way of life that you can apply from this moment on, even without being Jewish. It is simply a philosophy of life that, as we have seen, is totally opposite to what the common people do. This was the Jewish secret to generate wealth, abundance, and money. If you liked the video, leave us a comment and give us a like. By the way, subscribe to the channel by activating the notification bell so you don't miss more content like this. See you in the next video.